growth.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's spot on, as a matter of fact. And you know, one thing that, for example, no matter how much training you get, I'm a fellow veteran myself, and when you fight, no matter, even if you know more or you know a lot, there's always fear, right? And the control of fear, right? Because there's always a mystery of what your opponent can showcase, right? And that's the anxiety question, right? What is there that I can't see? And that brings a little bit of fear. How did your mentor deal with fear, and was he able to teach you something, and how did you teach yourself go through, like, for example, in a competition, how to I wouldn't say overcome, but neutralize that and use it to your advantage?
We did a lot of meditation. We did a lot of visualization training.
How many times you get beat up to learn a technique very well, right? Yeah. And it's almost that exposure of showing how vulnerable you can be. How does that, like, for example, it transform into strength with practice? How did you deal with those first stages of getting constantly beat up, right? And overcoming that thought that, am I ever going to be that good?
A certain point was as a red belt. When I became a black belt, that's when things kind of changed, because now I needed to actually train, like, my muscle endurance. I need to control my breathing. I need to do even more training, elevation training with not a gas mask on, an elevation training mask, right? Like, like 9,000, 12,000 elevation to prepare for, like, going to Colorado for competition, for team trials, And like that training, it was necessary. And that's where I kind of started to feel a little beat up, because it's different, As a red belt, I was like 13. I get away with athleticism. I get away with winning because I was athletic, right? I had some fight in me, but it sucked to do what was necessary to get me to a better level, which was becoming a black belt and competing with other black belts on that level. So, I mean, it sucked. We did all kind of different training.